Epilogue. 4 ethereal entities, wisps of the forest, drifted into the open clearing where the body of Cyrus lay in peaceful repose. His chestnut hair spilled across the emerald grass, a stark contrast against the color of death that he now held. His sacrifice for their woodland realm had echoed through the interconnected whispers of the forest, stirring the heart of every tree, every creature, every wisp. They mourned the loss of a great ally in the face of an impending catastrophe. Cyrus had been more than just a human in their eyes. He had been a beacon of hope, a harbinger of potential salvation. Tales of his courage in the bog and his resolve against Gwendra had filtered through the murmuring leaves and rustling undergrowth, painting a heroic image of him. He had planned to face the Wraith warlord, a formidable spectre of darkness that had ascended to power with terrifying speed. The forest knew that if this threat was left unchecked, the consequence would be catastrophic. The threat of the Wraith was not just a matter of warfare, it was a matter of survival. The Wraith's army, in its ceaseless march, would soon require resources, provisions to fuel their unholy crusade, and their predatory gaze would inevitably fall upon the forest, a treasure trove of life and sustenance. The army would fell the ancient trees, scorch the fertile earth, and desecrate the once sacred woodland with their profane presence. The forest would be reduced to a wasteland, a testament to their brutal conquest. This was the grim future they envisioned, a future they were determined to prevent. Yet, their only hope, Cyrus, the one being capable of halting this inevitable devastation, was now dead. His still form lay amidst the verdant green, a tragic symbol of their desperate predicament. The forest's heart wept for their fallen hero, for the bleak outlook that loomed ahead. The 4 wisps, as emissaries of the forest's collective consciousness, hovered around Cyrus, their ethereal forms glowing softly in the twilight. The wisps were enigmatic entities, woven from the vibrant threads of the world's energy flow. Although they were forced and had their energies stolen, they had been part of the weapon that had ejected Cyrus's mental companion, an act which now, in retrospect, stirred a sad regret within them. They now swirled above Cyrus's lifeless form, hovering with an otherworldly luminescence against the twilight. They read the residual energies emanating from Cyrus's body, their own forms resonating in response. Pulsating with an unseen power, the wisps conversed in a language of silent energy. Their consensus manifested in a brilliant display of sparks, shooting out from their forms, illuminating the darkening glade. A decision had been made, a path chosen. The wisps set forth to execute their plan. The first wisp, a shimmering mote of azure, called upon the ancient spirits of the forest. The very air seemed to vibrate with a spectral hum as it sought to tug at the thread of Cyrus's soul, gently pulling it back towards his lifeless body. This alone, however, was not enough. The forest, the epitome of life, would never accept a savior who was merely a shell, an animated corpse devoid of the vitality that the woodland cherished. The second wisp, a radiant orb of emerald, floated forth. It summoned the potent power of life that it embodied, directing it towards the restoration of Cyrus's physical form. The energy rippled outward, sinking into Cyrus's body, seeking to mend the damage and spark the crucial functions back to life. These tasks, as colossal as they were not the true challenge that the wisps faced. The true dilemma lay in the intricate web of the minds that had once inhabited the body of Cyrus. The human consciousness of Cyrus and the vast intellect of his companion had been so intertwined, so thoroughly blended within the framework of human biology and Legion technology, that it presented a labyrinth of complexity that the wisps were unfamiliar with. A fusion of human and alien intellect that had become so seamlessly merged that it was almost impossible to separate. The wisps, beings of energy and life, found themselves facing a hurdle that tested the very limits of their abilities. The quartet of wisps, their spectral forms flickering with hues of the ethereal, floated in contemplative silence. They considered the monumental task before them, their understanding of the world's energy flow and the intricacies of life forming a kaleidoscopic tableau of potential outcomes. After what felt like an eternity in the quiet clearing, They reached an accord. They knew what they had to do for Cyrus, the young man who had shown nothing but courage in the face of insurmountable odds. Their plan was audacious, daring even by their standards. They would invoke the power of material creation, a domain they seldom traversed. The goal was to reshape the structure of Cyrus's brain, to accommodate the alien intelligence that had merged so intimately with his own. To achieve this, they would have to orchestrate a symphony of life, spirit, and energy, manipulating these core forces with the precision of a master weaver threading an intricate tapestry. All four wisps prepared to pour their very essence into Cyrus. They knew the enormity of the task. It would stretch their capabilities to their limits, perhaps beyond. They would have to push, to strain against the very fabric of their being, pouring as much force into the young man as they could muster. Even then they acknowledged the chilling possibility that it might not be enough. But they had to try. They were the guardians of the woodland, the custodians of its balance. They were the invisible force that nurtured and protected the vibrant life that thrived within the forest. And Cyrus, their unlikely hero, was a crucial part of that balance. Their resolve hardened, their forms flickered with renewed determination. They were prepared to give everything to restore Cyrus, for his life was a beacon of hope in the face of the gathering darkness. For hours that stretched into an eternity, the quartet of wisps toiled tirelessly, their translucent forms dancing in the quiet glade. They manipulated the very fabric of existence, tugged at the threads of life, and infused their power into the still figure of Cyrus. The task was Herculean, testing their abilities to their limits, but they did not falter. The forest around them seemed to hum with silent encouragement, lending them its energy, bolstering their flagging spirits. As the eternal twilight held its stance, more wisps were drawn to the scene. Their energy signatures flickered with concern and determination as they took in the sight of their kin, working fervently to save the young hero. One by one, they joined the effort, switching out with their comrades whose energies were waning, ensuring the continuous flow of power. They did not want to risk losing more of their kind. By the time a complete day had passed, a full dozen wisps were present, their luminescence painting ethereal patterns in the air. They poured their energy into Cyrus, some out of remorse for the unintended harm they had caused, others motivated by the hope that he could be their savior. Finally, their work seemed to be complete. They had done all they could. Exhausted but hopeful, they gently lifted Cyrus's now healing body and carried him deeper into the protective embrace of the forest. There, they nestled him in a bed of moss, sheltered by the ancient trees and warmed by the stone's own heart. For now, Cyrus was alive, but they knew the true test was yet to come. His body was healing, yes, but what of his mind? They could not predict what his mental capacity would be. All they could do now was to wait and hope for him to awaken. Author's note. Firstly, I want to thank you for taking the time to journey with me through these pages. It is with immense pleasure that I present to you the fruits of a labor of love. The writing of this novel has been an exhaustive yet incredibly rewarding endeavor. I've lived, breathed, and dreamed with these characters, and I'm deeply thrilled to finally share their story with you. I want to express my sincere gratitude for your patience during the writing of this book. Each word has been carefully chosen, every scene intricately woven, to ensure an immersive and memorable reading experience for you. It's been a lengthy process, but knowing that I had eager readers waiting for the tale to unfold made every late-night writing session and each moment of writer's block worthwhile. To all those involved in the project, my supporters, friends, family, and the fantastic editorial team, your encouragement and contribution have been invaluable. You've challenged me, supported me, and celebrated with me. This book wouldn't have been the same without your input. I deeply appreciate all of you and your shared passion for this world and its characters. Your enthusiasm and engagement have fueled my creativity and dedication to the project. As the story of Cyrus and Queen draws to a close in this book, I am thrilled to announce that their journey does not end here. I invite you to continue with me on to the next adventure, the second book in this exciting series. There are still tales to be told, mysteries to unravel, and worlds to explore. Thank you once again for your support and companionship on this incredible journey. Here's to the next adventure. Ever my best, Elias T. Least.